Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Frame by Frame, Nikon's very own podcast show live here at Xposure Festival in Sharjah City, where we dive deep into the heart of photography and videography, exploring tips and techniques, insights and stories from renowned photographers all around the globe. Join us as we uncover the magic behind the lens in each and every episode. Hi, I'm Elle Laine, your host for today's podcast. A little bit about me: I am a content creator, both in photo and video, that does hair and makeup artist too, but hey, I am not in the hot seat for today. Joining me is Dubai's most famous and amazing cityscape and architectural photographer, Karim El Dagadi. Did
Correct.
I nail that right?
Yes, you did. Perfect.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And
Thank you.
how is your experience so far in Xposure?
Amazing. It's always a pleasure to come here and meet all my colleagues, the photographers, meet the artists, and share the knowledge with everybody here. It's always a pleasure.
That's lovely. Have
Yeah.
you been to any of our workshops so far, or have you hosted a workshop with Nikon?
In fact, yesterday I did a workshop here with Nikon at 12:30
At
in the morning.
12:30.
It was about architecture photography.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So guys, if in case you are around in Xposure Festival, please do drop by the Nikon booth. There are live sessions, live workshops that are happening all throughout the day up until March 5. Do drop by by our Nikon photo booth area where you can actually experience the Z8, and while you actually do that, you can have your camera checked and clean as you wait. All right, so don't forget to drop by our booth here at the Trade Center in Hall D. So before I actually completely introduce you, okay, I want to know about your background. Do let the audience know who are watching
Sure.
live.
Sure.
What do you do, and how did you get into photography, and possibly the gear that you use from Nikon? Yeah.
Sure. I started my journey as a photographer, as a graphic designer first, I would
Okay.
say. So I used to teach photographers how to do post-processing, how to edit their photos. And after that, I bought my first Nikon camera. And I was fascinated with the cityscape and the architecture in UAE in general. So I took my first photo and started putting some skills from post-processing that I learned throughout
How long
the years.
ago was this?
2015.
2015.
Yes.
Okay, great. And what camera were you using then, I would say?
It was an entry-level camera. It's a D5300.
Okay.
It's a mid-size, like mid-entry.
Crop frame camera.
Crop frame.
All right.
And when I bought this camera, mainly was to shoot my family members. I was not really into architectural yet or cityscape.
At that point, we were
At
all
that point.
discovering our niche that time. Yep.
Correct. But then I went out with my cousin actually, and he was also a photographer.
Okay.
And we did a photo together for a cityscape, and then I posted that on my Facebook page, and then people start sharing the picture, and I got very good feedback from the friends and family.
What
And
particular photo was this?
it was a Sheikh Zayed Road
Okay.
photo, the cityscape in Dubai.
All right.
So that was my first photo that I published on my page, and that was the beginning, in fact.
That
Yeah.
that is how you started,
started,
off.
yeah.
How it started off, and then how did you transition from the 3200?
D5300.
Oh, D5300. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay.
So it was a crop sensor camera, and then I moved to D750, and then recently also upgraded to D850.
D850 right now.
As you have noticed, all DSLRs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you. You haven't made the shift yet to mirrorless.
Not yet.
All
not
right.
yet.
Such a brand loyalist for
Yeah.
the DSLRs.
Yes.
Can I also ask you? So, what do you shoot more a lot these days? Do you shoot a lot more architecture? Do you shoot more cityscapes? Let us know what is your genre.
Mainly architecture, cityscape, but also landscape as well.
Okay. Great.
Especially in Europe, and also here in Middle East, there are so many beautiful places like deserts. So I do also a landscape for the deserts.
All right, and then let me also ask you about the lenses that you use, because it's so imperative,
Yeah.
especially we need to be very versatile when it comes to cityscapes.
Yeah.
What is your most favorite lens that you use?
My favorite lens is the Tilt Shift 19mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very powerful gear in my equipment. I use it mainly for shooting panoramas, especially when I'm facing tall subjects like towers or so. It makes easy to increase the angle of view
Yes.
for the standard versus the standard lenses. So I can easily create panoramas, stitch them without any flows in the vertical lines or so.
Absolutely. So what time of the day then do you prefer shooting? Are you mostly the blue hour guy, or do you have a preferred timing towards the day that you like shooting?
Personally, I prefer the golden hour,
The golden hour. Okay,
Yes.
I love the golden hour as well.
but I also tend to do a little like technique that,
Okay.
of time blending. So I blend different times of the day
Okay.
to come with a new unique composition, something that the human eye is not used to see a lot.
Okay.
So you know, mixing different types of the day. Yeah.
Okay. So what's technically in your go-to bag? What Nikon gear would you usually carry before you set out on top of the tower? I'm guessing on top of any Dubai
Yeah.
tower
Yeah.
in order to create a brilliant cityscape.
Of course, my camera.
Oh,
Definitely.
definitely. I'm-
And I go also with my tilt shift lens,
Okay.
the 19 mm. I also use the 2470, a 1635 mm as well.
Okay.
And then, of course, my tripod. And sometimes I use special panoramic heads if I'm taking 360 degrees panorama.
Amazing. Okay. Any lights do you bring on board, or do you always use ambient lighting?
Most of the time, I use ambient lighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Is there a particular photo, like your most favorite photo that you've taken so far?
Yes, there is one I took in Italy.
Okay.
It was for I call it the Eye of the Giant. It's basically it's a staircase, spiral staircase,
All right.
leading to a bell in the church, but it looks like an eye. So that photo I like a lot, and because it's not a usual angle, like I had to look up to explore that new angle, and I was so fortunate to take this shot.
All right. And any favorites from Dubai that you've taken? Any beautiful cityscape or architectural?
Dubai, yes, of course, plenty for Burj Khalifa, cityscape. Also, the Green Planet. I took.
Oh, you took the Green Planet.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Did you take it from the top view as well, where you included every
Well,
animal in it?
I took it from outside.
Outside, right.
Yes, and the Green Planet itself has a little challenge. And those who try to take this photo before, there is no like big space to take the photo.
Right.
So because you are standing on the platform, behind you there are cars moving. So I'm using the tilt shift lens also helped me to take the whole building without need to step back.
Exactly.
So sometimes those special equipment help you overcome those technical challenges. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good technique right there. By the way, speaking of technique, what advice would you give to aspiring cityscape photographers that want to get into this field?
Be patient.
Okay.
And they have to keep evolving their skills, learning about post-processing skills, and try to shoot from different angles. Get inspired by watching other photographers.
Absolutely.
And try to also plan for this shoot before going. It's very important to plan. Study the location, study the weather, check the weather forecast. There are so many applications, even like photo pills, which I highly recommend for photographers to use to help them planning for some unique shots.
Sorry, say that
Photo
again.
pills.
Photo pills.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What does it do?
It's like a Swiss knife app.
Okay, it's a Swiss knife app. Okay.
So it has plenty of tools that can help you plan sunsets, sunrises, moon sets, and even Milky Way alignment with certain objects. So it's a very powerful app that can help you align the sun and the moon and the stars, with any other subject.
So before I get into the post-processing, because that's something I'm also very interested in, what technique would you share with us to improve shots, such as something that you would take in the golden hour?
Yeah. Techniques, I would say, in post-processing, you mean? Like, or in general for the shooting?
Exactly. Let's start off with general shooting, and then we'll transcend to the post-processing part,
Sure.
which I'm interested in.
General shooting, I would say you need to go a little bit earlier than the perfect timing.
I mean, Dubai traffic you're talking about?
Yeah, Dubai traffic, and also to scout the place, find the best angle to set up your gear. Because setting up the gear also may take some time, like setting up the tripod and the camera, adjusting the settings. So be ahead of time,
Right.
and then scout the place and try to come with unique angles.
Absolutely.
And then start the shooting process. And in my case, usually I stick to a single frame,
Okay.
and I keep taking multiple exposures, multiple shots with different lighting conditions. And then when I go back to my working place, and then I start blending the different timing and different light effects to come up with something unique.
So what application do you use to process this?
I use Photoshop.
You use Photoshop
Yes.
mainly, okay. And I believe you also had mentioned slightly before we started this episode, you are Adobe certified?
I'm
Is that
Adobe
what-
certified expert. Yes.
Exactly. And how long does it take for you to edit a photo, let's say generally, one photo taken in with different multiple exposures?
Between half an hour, maybe to 2 hours
Oh
sometimes.
wow,
Yeah.
one photo we're
Yes.
talking about. So guys, it
depends.
takes
Yeah.
a lot of patience.
Yes.
A lot of patience and a creative eye when it comes to what? Editing and post-processing it,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Oh, wow, that's so great. All right, so this will be my last question for the episode, but thank you so much for such stellar advice that you've given, especially for those of you starting out in architectural photography. If you do want to reach out to Karim is more than happy to be around,
Sure.
walking around here
Sure.
in the Nikon booth area. And how can we reach you, by the way? How can we reach you on social media? Please feel free to plug in your Instagram handle to
Yeah.
see your work as well.
Yes. KELDGHEDY. So KELDEGHEDY.
Okay.
That's my handle.
That's great. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
joining today's
You're welcome.
episode.
Thank you for your hospitality.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
And guys, if you are loitering about in Xposure, please do come by our stand. Our Nikon booth is located in the trade area at Hall D. Come see our live workshops, experience them, try out our Nikon Z8. There are photo shoots happening moments as I speak, and also get your cameras cleaned out, checked while you wait, and do pop by our podcast area. Thank you so much. This ends another episode with Frame by Frame. See you for the next one.